Hey everyone, and welcome to my video for a Michelin guide to student feedback. But before we get started, here's a little tech joke for you. Why shouldn't you fart in an Apple store? Because they don't have windows. I teach English as a foreign language to elementary school students in South Korea. Students who come to my classroom are often like travelers going overseas. International travelers frequently rely on the feedback of others when choosing accommodations, sightseeing destinations, and restaurants. Like most people, I rely on user feedback from websites like TripAdvisor and Yelp. These sites provide ratings and reviews from millions of travelers from all over the world and can help me make better informed decisions. These sites are great, but one of the problems of these sites stems from one of its strengths. The overwhelming amount of feedback they provide can sometimes make it difficult to process, just plain confusing. Like travelers who use these sites, students need feedback about their work that they can easily digest and use to inform their future behavior and performance. When I was using these sites and feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of feedback I saw, it made me think about how my students feel when they receive corrective feedback. Students usually receive feedback in a flood, all at once, in a way that they might not necessarily understand. It's more about quantity than it is quality. And this really made me want to try something new. The question that's really plagued me for almost 10 years of teaching was, how do I give easily digestible feedback to students on the spot in real time? And I think after a decade, I found the answer. In an effort to increase the quality of my students' language, increase their words per utterance, or the number of words students use each time they speak, and promote more meaningful answers, I have created a 3-star speaking feedback system. My goal was to create a system that could be easily introduced, understood, and eventually expanded into other areas of classroom performance. A system that provides feedback on the individual components of speaking is hard to quantify, difficult to explain, and time-consuming. I wanted to create a system that changes this paradigm. I have decided to model my SNAP assessment system around the Michelin Guide to Fine Dining, right? Where you either have no stars, 1, 2, or 3 stars. The higher the star rating, the better you have done. I chose the Michelin Guide as a model because it works. It works because it promotes excellence. It is widely recognized, and most importantly, it is easy to understand. Similarly, my 3-star system simplifies on-the-spot feedback, making it easier for teachers to give and students to understand. Another reason that I chose to base my model off the Michelin Guide is that I want my stars to be similar to Michelin stars, in that they are cumulative and build off of and compound previous excellence. Here are the basics of how the feedback system works. The teacher asks students a question, and the students answer. After students have finished answering a question or giving a response, they're given a score, 0, 1, 2, or 3. In order to encourage excellence and promote achievement, after a score is given, the recipient is always allowed another chance to expand or elaborate on their answers. Now this is where my system is a little bit different than the Michelin Guide. Unlike Michelin stars, which are hardly ever given out, my stars are easily earned based on content, presentation, attitude, persuasion, insight, or the like. Now, although it's pretty hard to get a Michelin star, it's very easy for customers to understand why a restaurant got it. The Michelin star system works best because it creates pretty clear guidelines for what constitutes a 0, 1 star, 2 star, and a 3-star restaurant. My system does the same thing with the 0, 1 star, 2 star, and 3-star answer. I'll show you what constitutes each category of answer based on the following question. What's this? Now take a look at the picture carefully and listen to the 0, 1 star, 2 star, and 3-star answers. Did you hear that? A no response. A 0-star answer means that either a student didn't understand the question, didn't answer the question, or spoke in L1. Burger. Cheeseburger. As you can see, a 1-star answer is a simple one-word or phrase answer that simply answers the question that was asked. It uses the subject or object in question, and it provides the basic foundation, the building block to 2 or 3-star answers. This is a great place to start. It's a cheeseburger. A 2-star answer answers the question that is asked in a complete sentence. We're moving from words to phrases to sentences. We're using the object or subject in the question and the verb and the correct tense. We're pushing students to do more cognitive work. As you can see, a 2-star answer is just it is a delicious bacon cheeseburger with French fries and a glass of ice-cold beer. A 3-star answer is an elaborative, complete sentence or complex sentence that uses details from the question, adjectives, adverbs, opinions, improved word choices. This is the best type of answer. This is what. Now that you know how this system works, let's go over some of the benefits of using it. To introduce this technique to my students, I draw 3 sets of stars on the board. One containing 1 star, another containing 2 stars, and the final containing 3 stars. Next to the set of 1, I write good. Next to the set of 2, I write better. Next to the set of 3, I write best. This technique is even easier to implement. To start, I'll just point at one of the sets of stars and ask my students a question. For example, if I point to the 1-star set and ask, "What is this?" students answer, "Apple." 2-star, "It's an apple." 3-star, "It's a delicious, sweet-tasting red apple." After a few rounds of practice, you just hold up a finger and ask the question. 1. Do you like pizza or fried chicken? Pizza. 2. I like pizza more than fried chicken. 3. I like pizza more than fried chicken because there are so many flavor combinations and it tastes great with Coca-Cola. This technique is by far the simplest and most effective and efficient improvement I have made to my instruction since becoming a teacher, because it lets my students know what to expect and it provides a rubric for them to follow. When students know what you expect and have a rubric to follow, you will be pleasantly surprised with the responses you hear and receive. Another really great but also unforeseen benefit of this technique was that it fosters teamwork. Students want to see their friends get 3-star answers, and if a student is struggling, their fellow students will usually prompt the speaker with a follow-up question or ideas to help them stretch that answer out and receive the extra stars they need. In addition, With this technique, I'm able to use the scoring system to provide feedback to students' responses anytime during the class. All I have to do is rate my students' answers on the spot and ask them to stretch their answers, which urges them to improve their answers and elaborate, clarify, and think about what they have said, and then try to add a star. Whenever I share this idea with other teachers, I'm always asked, and usually enthusiastically, how else can I use this technique in my classroom? It's great for speaking. It's great for conversation. Is it good for anything else? And my answer is always yes. It works just as easily for almost any other skill that you'll need in class. And let me explain how. 3-star writing is similar to 3-star speaking, in that we want students to use complete and complex sentences to answer. Now, a 1-star writing answer might be, I like blank. A 2-star answer would be, I like blank because. A 3-star answer would be, I like blank because support, detailed support. 3-star drawing. This is all about illustration. Anytime you need students to draw something, you'll always have those students who give you a stick man and say, teacher, I'm finished. Well, a stick man is a 1-star drawing. A box man with an accessory or two is a 2-star drawing. A box man with some accessories, some landscape, some background, some weather is a 3-star drawing. 3-star vocabulary. This is all about word choice. Now, most people in conversation or speech will use the easiest language possible, just to get by. 3-star vocabulary shows them that that's a 1-star word. Something is not bad, something is not very bad, something is terrible. You move from 1, bad, 2, very bad, to 3. The 3-star technique is not limited to academics. Think about how you have students line up and walk in the halls. A 1-star lineup might have students in a zigzag or talking, pushing their friends. A 2-star lineup might have them in a straight line, but with a little chit-chat here and there. A 3-star lineup is perfectly lined up, boys and girls, with no talking and hands at their side. To re-emphasize, this technique and this feedback is so useful because it provides a quick, quiet, and easily understood assessment in real time. Most of all, I really love this technique because it works. Instead of just prompting my students and feeding them the language I want them to speak in class, which has been a real teaching crutch of mine, I can keep my lips sealed and make them do the heavy lifting. This increases learner autonomy and shifts the emphasis of language creation from the teacher to the students. It helps me get students from where they are to where I want them to be. If you liked what you heard in this video, don't wait to use it. Give it a try tomorrow. Anything that you like